let's start our projects with putting together this beautiful Celebrate Love puzzle. When you got it, you notice that you've got nylon nuts on the back, you've got 9 screws going through the front, and we'll start with taking it apart. Be a little bit gentle with it. Once the puzzle pieces are underneath it, this lace isn't going to come apart. But while you're first getting started, you may want to be just a little gentle. So I'm going to take these nuts off simply by putting my finger on the bottom to keep them from spinning. I'm going to get to those gears so we can flip this puzzle over and see what you've really got. You'll also need to make sure you have the bag of Kinetic Heart puzzle pieces that are in your kit as well. We'll take this apart. You've got 4 shorter screws and 5 longer screws. Those longer screws that are on the gears, you're going to want to set aside and keep for putting the gears on, and the shorter screws will work fine for you for holding the corners of the piece together when you're finished and ready to anchor it. So we'll finish taking it apart very quickly here. And then you can see what you've got, and we'll get you all set up to start prepping this for its decoration. When you build this, what you got are 3 pieces. We designed this backboard to be the face for the box, but you also want to use it as your puzzle frame. So we're going to end up taking these 2 pieces and fastening them together using our screws to hold them together. So you're going to want to decorate those 2 just like you would a standard puzzle frame. Once the puzzle is built, you can take it apart as many times as you want to, put it back together as many times as you want to. But once it's built, if you want to keep all of the pieces safe, then we'll put this lovely lace cap on it. So you want to decorate this cap as well. Then what you've got are these 5 gears, which can go on the top of the cap. And you'll have to put the puzzle together exactly right to be able to make that happen. 1 little one, 2 medium-sized ones, and 2 bigger ones. So you'll have those gears. And then we have our puzzle pieces. Probably the easiest thing to do once you've opened up your bag of puzzle pieces is going to be to build the puzzle first. When we come back in the next half of the video, and I've got the camera aimed a little differently, I'll show you one way to put the puzzle together pretty easily. But if I were you, I would start with just putting the puzzle together. So put the puzzle together and then decorate all of those pieces so that you've got one lovely cohesive puzzle, all pretty and decorated, either with the paint pens or Sharpies or anything else you want to use. If you got the last box, you've also got some really fun glitter pins to use, all kinds of choices on how to make your wood work. Make sure you sand it first so any little imperfections get sanded off. And from there, you'll be all set to build it, and we'll come back and build it together. Thanks. All right, I'm going to trust you all were able to figure out how to put this puzzle together on your own. But in case you weren't, I'm going to put it together for you, show you how it goes together so you can decorate it as appropriate, and then show you how we intended to finish it, just to give you a little bit of guidance. Now, the first thing you're going to want to do is we're going to again want to be able to glue this frame on, so with the screws in it or not, the frame stays together with the base okay. So back to our screws that we were looking at earlier, we're going to start with our 4 shorter screws, putting them up from the end. And it doesn't really matter if these are the shorter screws for this part of the exercise, but you might as well use them just to make it easy. And the only reason I'm putting 4 of them in at this point is just to make sure that this wibbly loose frame doesn't have any trouble. So we'll go here. I'm going to flip this upside down, and put glue on the back side of it all the way around nicely. I'm going to skip the screw holes just so we don't get glue on the screws if we can help it. Flip it back over and glue it down as your picture frame, as your puzzle frame, so you have it. And every time you take your puzzle apart to build it again, you'll remember that this was from the January box of making. So, got a nice easy backing for your puzzle. I'll pull those screws back out. I don't need those. So notice I wiped up a little bit of glue that was extra because we definitely don't want to glue these pieces in. And then we're going to start with putting it together. And because I built the puzzle, I know which of these big pieces go on the bottom. Basically what we've done is we built a puzzle that's 4 sections. If you've got a little one that you want to set this puzzle up for and make it really, really simple, you could probably glue those in if you really wanted to. I think most kids, even at 4 or 5, will be able to get those 4 pieces in to get themselves the main shape of the puzzle if they're trying to learn how it works. Then you'll notice that up here in this corner, we've got a pair of Nautilus. And the only trick you're going to have is making sure you get the correct Nautilus gears lined up to the right side, but you've got a lovely picture to help you do that alignment. Get those teeth lined up properly. Down here we're using our imaginary gears, so you want your 2 little turtle butterfly shaped pieces, and you'll have to figure out which ones of those align properly to make your lines go together correctly in your shape. This corner is using the square gears, and nicely enough, we're outside the picture, so it doesn't really matter which one goes where, unless you've done something cool with coloring when you put it together. And finally, I have, from a gear shape perspective, I have a triangle gear down here that will drop into its hole. And again, I have 3 lovely little gears, and this one happens to have the last part of that heart on it, so we want to make sure that one goes in the right place, and these others should just be able to drop in to the correct direction, but you got to get them the right direction to make that happen one way or another. There's that one. And here's this one. If you haven't decorated it yet, you can go ahead. If you have, then hopefully you did the right things with your patterning to make it a little more fun to build. It's all about getting the right tooth in the right alignment. And that's being really stubborn. There we go. The thing that's interesting about elliptical gears is they are subtly different across the sides. Come on. You gotta make sure you get the right hole. Okay, get that guy out of the way. Nope, not that one. Turn this around this direction. One more try. If I fail here, I'm gonna have to pause this video and start again. Okay, so now that I got that put together, we're ready to put in the set of bigger gears that are across the outside. And you'll notice that these also give you, some of these have the holes in them for our screws to go through. So we got to make sure those get right as well. So first, figure out what size you want. These medium ones go here. Line up to that guy. So I should have another gear about that same size. That will line up over here like so. And I've got 2 medium ones to put down here. Figure out where they line up. The gears, the bigger ones go here. It's got to be that one to get the pattern right. And this one to get the pattern right. There, those line up, make those holes line up nicely. I've got one here that's got my other gear hole on it. Got 2 little ones. Looks to me like This is the bottom of that one, so this one has to go here. This little tiny one is our middle one. This is the one that goes over there. There we go. Just aim the right direction. There's that. And finally, put in my last big gear here. And now I've got my puzzle completed. So, use it as a puzzle to take it apart and put it back in millions of times. If you're finishing the wood on this and you want to make it something like a restored puzzle that a kid could play with over and over again, maybe you would want to use polyurethane or varnish on it. Make sure if you do that, you don't get anything in the teeth, though, in the gears. These are a tight enough fit. You're going to have a challenge if you do that. Then when you're all done, you can take and you can put the cover over the top of it to keep it safe if you want to. Use your shorter screws and nylon nuts around the outside, and I'm just going to put 2 on for the moment. Save myself a little bit of time here. If you don't put the layer of gears on top, then this will act like a nice little trivet. It's wood, so obviously it could burn if you did the exact wrong thing to it, but it's also nice and strong and sturdy. You could use it that way. Or if you're going to put the gears on top, the little gear goes down at the bottom, then the 2 bigger gears, and finally the last 2 gears go up at the top of your heart. And you've got something beautiful to display and play with. Notice these 2 little circles right here. You got to be a little bit gentle with them while you're building, because without the puzzle pieces behind them, they need a little bit of support. Other than that, you're great to go. And you're going to end up with all of your gears together, your piece ready to spin, and looking great. All right, talk to you soon.